I was always a pretty big Jurassic Park fan. My family made it to America around the time The Lost World came out. I watched the first two movies so many times that I single-handedly thank Dr. Grant for refining my English. I didn't really start to appreciate the movies until I was an undergrad when I rewatched the entire trilogy and thought to myself that these were more than just dumb monster movies. 1 and 2 at least. 3 has its charm, but it's a more difficult claim to assert. I would even argue that Jurassic Park The Lost World, the second movie, is my favorite of the bunch, and I stand by my claim that it has the best story of the three. So why is it so critically panned? The answer is simple. It's Kelly Malcolm, Ian Malcolm's daughter, who sneaks onto the convoy. Kelly Malcolm's presence in the movie only detracts from the overall story, and the character itself is redundant. First, the reason Kelly is included in the movie is dubious at best. She was added to the movie to try to appeal to younger children. See, the original Jurassic Park was a huge hit with kids, because kids love dinosaurs. However, Kelly was added so that the kids watching could have someone they could self-insert themselves into the movie with, someone relatable. The problem with this is that kids don't watch these movies for other kids. In fact, when I was growing up after having watched the first movie, I wasn't pretending to be Lex or Tim, I was pretending to be Dr. Grant. Self-inserts usually only work for characters you want the audience to empathize with, and children in general have a difficult time with empathy. It's why self-inserts among teens work so well, because that demographic is much more suited to empathy. The next problem with her addition in the alternative hypothesis is that she was there to be the character the audience can experience the wonder and awe of seeing the park and the dinosaurs for the first time with. There are two problems with that. First, The Lost World has a much darker tone, and the awness of seeing the dinosaurs is not central to the plot like it was in the first movie. Second, everyone, including the main character, had experienced the first movie recently. We all knew what we were getting into. We knew things were going to be bad. Even Nick Owen and Eddie Carr knew they would be seeing big reptiles and that it was dangerous, but the job was the most important thing. These considerations render Kelly's inclusion moot. The second issue is that her interpersonal relationships with the other characters are surface level or redundant. Ian already had someone he wanted to protect, his girlfriend Sarah. Having Kelly there is too redundant and just clogs down the pace of the movie. She also has almost no interactions with Eddie or Nick, and the obvious girlfriend learns to be maternal story that could have been eye-rollingly obvious for Sarah wasn't even attempted. You can actually completely write Kelly out of the movie, and immediately the pacing and cohesion of the movie improves. The only other thing I could think of to be useful is the introduction scene where we learn that Ian is a well-meaning but absent father, but even that seems redundant because Sarah essentially tells him the exact same thing in the convoy when he first catches up with her. The last thing is that the character is annoying, just flat out. Even Super Hacker Extreme Lex from the first movie isn't as annoying, and I thought that hacking scene was so cringe-inducing. Kelly is essentially a proto-millennial. She's very quippy, needs to get her lines in, and appears to be unfazed at everything. There's a difference between being too young to appreciate the danger and just having kid plot armor. Lex and Tim in the first movies were always vulnerable and barely outsmarted the Raptors. The Kirby kid in the third movie basically had PTSD when Grant found him, doomed to have to survive alone. Kelly faces down raptors alone, and then in the worst abomination in the history of cinema, kills a raptor with gymnastics because they literally just needed something for the kid to do. It's especially annoying because less Kelly could have meant more scenes with Roland Tembo or more scenes with Nick Van Owen, both who I think were extremely interesting characters who deserve more screen time. I also didn't like the San Diego ending, but it was so refreshing when I realized Kelly hadn't been on the screen for about 5 minutes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I usually do comic-related videos, but I'm actually really hyped for the new Star Wars movie. For the new Jurassic Park movie. Star Wars. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm not hyped for the new Star Wars movie. I'm hyped for the new Jurassic Park movie. So follow me at Trajan Channel. Catch you guys later.